Welcome to the B Team Podcast. This is our third episode. We're joined today by me, Chris, Andy, Jason, and Nathaniel.
Hola.
What's up?
Butters is flipping patties right now.
We'll be here eventually.
I'll tell you what, he's flipped that patty a lot.
She might be hot.
She likes it.
No, it's not likely that she's hot.
Probably not.
No. I don't know if I've ever seen a hot patty.
There's been a couple.
Just the ones on the grill.
Peppermint.
Those are
Just for Chris.
literally hot.
You got grease all over his pants today?
I don't know.
Or mustard.
Wasn't that paint last
It
week?
was paint, yeah.
Oh, it was
He
paint.
leaned up against one of those things in the parking lot. They just got painted.
Oh,
A giant yellow rod.
Well, that's.
It's what he calls it in the bedroom.
I don't want to
There's-
know why you and Butters have that kind of relationship.
I just know what it
Being
is.
asked.
You just know?
I just know what it is.
But see, the only one that hasn't seen Hunter naked in this group is Andy.
I don't
That's
know that
pretty
I
good.
have, actually.
You did too.
When?
When we were at your grandma's house, he tried to put out the fire and just whipped his dick out and
Oh.
pissed right in front of us.
What? I mean, I guess it's true.
I mean, we didn't see much,
Yeah.
but it was there.
Well, for me, it was because I wasn't looking. For you, it was because you were looking and couldn't find
You
it.
can't help it. It's like a little mushroom.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That tiny.
Do they have surgeries for that yet? It is 2018.
Yeah, but he doesn't have. You can't give health insurance
Does
to
he
a
like?
pet.
Does he like want people to see
You
it?
can. It's expensive, but you can.
Does he want people
Yeah,
to
is
see
he
it?
like-
I don't think he cares.
Interesting.
I don't. Mm-mm. So I guess today's theme is the 80s. Nathaniel, do you remember the 80s?
Hell yeah, I do. Even though I'm only fucking 18.
I remember a little bit of the 80s. I remember a lot of smells of the 80s.
I'm sorry. What now?
The smells of the 80s.
It's because he came out in
Talk
the
to me
80s.
about the smells of the 80s.
You don't remember when you get a sunburn, your parents wouldn't spray you with solar cane?
No, that sounds painful. Sounds like
It was the 80s.
Okay.
spraying
Fact.
fucking Coca-Cola on your
Fact.
back.
I don't sunburn.
Really?
Yeah.
I only
when I was
sunburned-
young, I would tan.
I
and get
remember
really
the
dark.
pain of feeling solar cane on your back was worse than the sunburn.
I only get sunburned at the beginning of the year.
Isn't it like a topical analgesic?
Yeah.
How would it hurt?
I remember it stinging. I think.
Are you sure?
I also remember my mother.
Was it cocaine?
No, I also remember my mother pouring milk over my back when I got a really bad sunburn.
All I
Oh,
remember
that was she had a fetish. That had nothing to do with sunburn.
That's true.
Didn't she also make you lap up the milk after it was all done? Your
No,
back?
she didn't make me.
Oh, you just did it on your own.
Andy, what do you remember about the 80s?
That's interesting.
Remember those big dorky glasses that everybody wore?
I think my grandma still wears those.
I couldn't stand those things.
You probably couldn't stand my grandma either. She'd probably beat your ass in a fight.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
What's happening here?
Don't make me call my grandma.
Your grandma? Your grandma can't hardly fucking stand.
Wow.
That's terrible.
Wow.
That's true. She's had a rough life.
Yeah?
She just ended her 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
She remembers the 80s.
I'm sure she does.
Yeah, she thinks it's the 80s.
She's
still.
had 20 years
She
of
remembers
the 80s.
the 80s from, the 1980s, and now she's going to remember the 80s from living her own 80s, right?
And then she'll remember the 2080s.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord. She's going to outlive us all, huh?
Because the butter and radiation is going to keep her alive forever.
And we don't mean the little
What about the
that
soy?
hangs out with
Is the
us.
soy going to help her, or does she not eat soy yet?
No, you eat soy.
She hasn't jumped on the soy bandwagon,
No.
No, she's on the pure meat and butter diet.
so she's on the antithesis of what I eat.
She's
Yeah.
on the I want to murder myself at age 35 diet.
I don't think that's true because she's like
90.
98 or something now.
Yeah? Yeah? Hey, don't judge me. No, fuck you. Damn it, Chris.
I don't remember a lot of the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, we were born mid to late 80s, and then some of us not even.
I could talk about
So-
random things of the 80s.
Okay, talk about
We
random
don't
things.
remember the shitty movies from the 80s.
Oh, you know.
Yeah,
They're pretty awesome.
That was Small Soldiers, man.
the 90s.
Shit.
Yeah.
1998.
That was a good movie, though.
That was a good movie. Do you remember Little Soldier? Toy Soldiers? The 80s movie?
Yes.
No.
That was a good movie.
That was a good
Is
movie.
it a horror movie?
No, it was like an action movie, like kind of in the vein of like
Toy Soldiers.
Red
Is that
Dawn.
the one Tom Cruise was in? There are a couple of them. On
Tom Cruise was in Red Dawn. I think he was in Red Dawn.
That's not what I'm talking about. Because there are a couple where the terrorists took over schools.
That's Toy Soldiers, yeah.
Well, there's a couple of them. There's not just one. Tom Cruise is the star of one of those.
What's Toy Soldiers about?
Well, you know what? No, let me rephrase. I'll rephrase that because that's not true. I'm gonna. One of them, terrorists took over the school. Another one, the cadets took over the school.
Okay, yeah, that's Toy.
The one where the cadets took over, Tom Cruise is in that.
Was it the cadets fought? I remember because they fought like the drug cartel that took over the school.
What's Toy Soldiers about?
Yeah, that's Toy Soldiers. I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Taps, that's right.
That's the Tom Cruise one. That was a good one too.
I remember we just got a VCR like the year I was born. Well, a couple years after I was born.
VCR.
You know what my favorite movie was? And you're gonna laugh.
I'm gonna go with My Little Pony.
Pretty Woman.
Whoa.
You know, I remember watching Pretty Woman, and what's weird is for what it was and how conservative my family was. We all watched it together. My grandpa,
You guys had
my
a
mom,
family over, had a guy
my
buying
dad,
a prostitute.
and all of us. We were all weirdly enough, we were all in, and I don't even know how this happened. We all ended up in the exact same room, lounging around on a Thanksgiving afternoon, watching Pretty Woman. It was the weirdest thing. I don't even know how that happened.
Oh, we weren't even allowed to watch television on Thanksgiving. We had to watch football.
Oh, fuck that.
Oh, all day, every day, every Sunday was football.
Yeah, no, my grandpa. Well, we generally had our Thanksgiving at my grandparents' house on my mom's side, and he did not watch sports. Like we were not allowed to watch sports in the house,
Really?
and so we did not. That was not one of our traditions.
I also remember Grandpa pulling out the wild turkey.
He pulled what out now?
The wild turkey. He was a big fan of the.
So an actual wild turkey, a bottle of wild turkey, or
bottle.
what he called a wild turkey.
No, a bottle of wild turkey.
Gobble gobble.
Did he take you into his room and show you what wild turkey was?
No, he
He
didn't.
told you to gobble gobble, didn't he?
I remember Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was fun growing up. But
Thanksgiving.
My Thanksgivings were always boring because I had to sit by my little cousin in the little kids'
At
table.
the kids' table.
Yeah.
I've never even graduated from the. I'm 34 and I haven't graduated from the kids' table when we get together with family stuff.
we didn't graduate the kids' table until the kids started having kids, and then we're like, hey,
Now
we should probably stop doing
Is
this.
that like by choice or they like make you sit there?
I think I'm the black sheep. I don't think I have a choice.
Mine was because we couldn't fit enough people at the table.
I did the same thing.
And the kids wouldn't let me anyway. I don't think if I wanted to. I get attacked as soon as I walk through the door. From the
Yeah, I was part of the second wave of grandkids, so we all grew up together.
Oh,
Do you remember the snacks we had in the 80s and 90s? Like,
No.
what were those? Squeeze-Its.
Okay.
Do
Yeah.
you remember those?
Yeah.
Those were pure chemicals. Oh.
The hell is that?
Remember Squeeze-It, the little plastic tube bottle? You have to, like, break open the cap and squirt it in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
Those were cool.
Yogurt?
That was not an 80s
Go-gurt?
thing.
No. Yeah.
Nobody, I actually never tried yogurt until I was probably 13.
I don't like yogurt.
AC/DC came out with the best album, 81. For those about to rock.
That's good.
Good for you.
Badass. You should check it out. Badass.
No one cares.
Hey, I like AC/DC.
Actually,
know what?
they're probably it's one of the most highest selling albums of all time. But okay, nobody cares.
He listens to screaming,
Hey,
angry white kids
you know what?
who may or may not be white supremacists.
Actually, I think
huh?
half of them are actually on your side, so go fuck your little self.
I can't remember growing up. I remember we had the Ghostbusters LP.
Okay.
LP?
Yeah.
Youngin. Listen here, Youngin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would listen to that song all the time.
What does LP stand
It's a
for?
record.
Is there only one song?
Yeah.
He's so young. It's so weird.
No, I think there was 2 songs on it.
Really?
The
Don't
it's
make me
Magic.
feel stupid.
Do you remember that song in
Which one?
Ghostbusters? It's Magic.
Oh, I don't remember. that.
Right when the containment unit's been breached, and all the ghosts are coming out into the city, and there's a very weird song. It plays. It's called Magic or whatever it is.
Really?
Yeah.
I do not remember that.
See, we had a lot of fun. I think we had a lot of fun in the late 80s.
Well, you know, let's talk about having fun in the 80s. I mean, 80s, and then I guess kind of the 90s, really. But when we were growing up then, you could go do whatever you wanted just about wherever, and it wasn't a huge, ordeal.
Yeah,
aside from your parents telling you not to get kidnapped and raped by like some pedophile somewhere.
Which, by the way, that happened when we were little.
Well, I know. I mean,
if you remember the Myers case, that happened.
So as much as I was able to kind of do whatever, and our parents weren't too worried, that was the case as long as we stayed within a certain area around the house. Right? We just didn't meander about the city or something.
See, we had free reign until the Myers kid got kidnapped.
Who's the Myers?
Christopher Myers.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a nationwide case. Do you remember that, Andy?
Yeah.
That kid, he got kidnapped and diddled, and then
They found his underwear in the trees or something.
yeah, they found him in like a shallow grave by the river, didn't they?
Yeah. Yep.
What?
Yeah, that was the end.
This is supposedly that song here in a second.
It's the end of our freedom there.
Yeah. Well, and then I had to stay like close to the house and do stuff.
Well, the problem was everybody.
We were allowed to do whatever.
The problem was everybody knew the Myers.
Well, that guy that killed him went to prison for the same thing before, and he got out.
Yeah, don't you remember that? That song gives me goosebumps to this day. It creeps me out.
I don't know if that reminds me of anything.
Does not sound familiar.
Ghostbusters song?
Yeah. Although my favorite Ghostbusters is still Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, I do not remember that song
I like the cartoon.
at all.
Oh, the cartoon was so cool.
Yeah.
That was the first real experience I got to have with toys that I wanted.
And Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters, I think, were the top ones. Because I don't really remember He-Man as much as I watched it a little bit.
I watched it, but I don't have a lot of memories of He-Man either.
Yeah, I
A couple
can't.
of the figurines, a couple of those, one of my buddies had.
Yeah, I had all the Ninja Turtle stuff.
I bet those He-Man toys are worth money.
Oh, I bet they are.
You know what else I had a lot of toys of? Dick Tracy. I had a lot of Dick Tracy
First
toys.
movie I ever saw in the theater, Dick Tracy.
Really?
Yep.
First movie I ever saw in the theaters was Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze.
See, I don't know the first one I saw.
Probably Toy Story 2.
But Ghostbusters, one of my neighbors had some toys, not like figurines, but like the actual packs, like where you
Yeah, the Ectoblaster.
the
and
Ectoblaster,
that. Yeah.
and then the containment unit, like the mobile.
I had those
containment
too.
unit. Now that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with that.
But Daniel, what was your first action figures?
G.I. Joe's. They were dope.
See, I came in the tail end of the 80s. I don't remember those.
See, but I had like the 7-inch ones, the really cool ones.
The little ones were the coolest, I think.
Or Dynamite Mars.
That was the 90s, but I do remember that. That was a cool
That was the
show.
early 90s.
Do you remember Brave Star?
Oh.
Brave Star.
Like the futuristic cowboys?
No.
It was a cartoon in the 80s.
Nope. No, I have no reference.
And then Dino Riders.
Dynamite.
I think I've heard of those.
That was a fun time for growing up, I think.
The 80s?
Yeah, well, the late 80s and the 90s.
Oh.
Because that was right before we started getting helicopter parents. We weren't allowed to watch that stuff anymore.
We're allowed to watch stuff. We're allowed to do stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I just don't understand kids now.
Okay.
That's just me getting old.
Yeah.
But I think...
Well,
Internet.
okay, but as much as that's true, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head there, though. Is we didn't have helicopter parents.
No.
Yeah, and the other thing was we didn't have iPads and iPhones and laptops and desktop computers where we would just wake up in the morning and we'd go play on something. Our face wasn't buried in a screen. And
we had
televisions, right? Yeah, your dad or your mom, depending on what your household was, would probably decide what you want. And like we were talking about earlier, you didn't just sit there and flip through a bunch of stuff, right? Someone had to sit down there and turn the knob to.
Yeah.
And so you didn't just sit around watching TV all day. And if you did, you're gonna watch one of 4 channels or something?
I think we had 26 stations growing up.
Well, sure. I mean, but you're not gonna sit there and watch something 24/7 television. and on demand or Netflix streaming. That that still wasn't around.
Where was the first place you started renting movies at? Do you remember?
Renting movies?
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
Really?
Family Video.
Yep, we did Blockbuster.
We did Kroger.
What?
I remember renting videos
Okay.
from Kroger. And then when that went away, I remember when the Super Kmart opened up over here.
We used to rent from Kmart.
Yeah.
Yep, when they had the video store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we had video review
Okay.
where St. Vincent de Paul's is now by Big
Okay.
Lots.
Yeah, we always did Blockbuster, and then when Kmart opened up with their video store, we did that because we shopped at Kmart, and so.
Oh, we also did M Video. Do you remember that one?
I don't recall that one.
M
Oh,
Video.
was it over? Where was it on? Over by.
It was over in West Kankakee.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that.
But see, that was a big deal though, right? You remember, at least for my family growing up, we didn't get to get a movie all the time. We only got a movie every once in a while from the video store, and it was a big deal. Now today, it's like, oh, I want to watch something, I'm going to get on. You get on Netflix, or you get on your whatever your cable provider is. You watch a movie on demand, or YouTube it, or Netflix it, or something, right? You can do whatever you want, anywhere, anytime.
I actually want to bring this up because me and Andy were talking about it earlier. There's a big division evidently between older millennials and younger millennials.
Mm-hmm.
They think we suck.
Yeah, we think they suck.
They do suck.
Well, they do.
That's probably why they think we suck.
But they're like, oh, the '90s sucked.
I don't know
90s
how-
were amazing.
I don't know how the 90s are, so I can't.
Yeah,
say
but but you are talking about the younger, right? The younger millennials who are.
Yeah, but they were born in the '90s.
They were born in the '90s, but they remember as much of the '90s as we do the '80s, probably.
Well, we're like right at the cutoff,
Right.
right, for Generation X and.
Yeah, we're on the front side of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like 84 is like the last year, wasn't it? 84, 85.
For what?
For
Gen X? No,
no
1980.
millennials.
It's the beginning.
Yeah, 1980 to 2000. Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah, that's what I meant to do.
Yeah, so we're towards the beginning of it, yeah.
And I am right at the
Our whole generation is defined by the discovery of AIDS and 9/11.
Basically.
Except
It really does
9/11
define
happened
who
afterward.
our generation.
9/11 happened afterward, though.
You know, 9/11 was like perpetrated by our own government.
Sure.
Okay, then, but
Sure.
But what I was going to say though is looking
that'd be like
at the
saying-
difference between our generation and other generations, because we didn't sit around and watch TV all the time, or we weren't playing on the iPad all the time. We were outside, right? We were outside. We rode our bike. Like, that's one of the things I remember. Outside playing sports all the time.
I was
Or
outside.
riding my bike all the
Hanging
time.
out
You
with
were
my-
hanging from a tree by your feet.
Hey, fuck you! I was still outside.
No, I know, but you're like one of the few.
But
Your brothers to this day, they won't even come out and hang out with us because they're too busy.
Well,
looking
they're
at stuff
scared
on
of the
internet.
sun.
Well, that's just my.
Nathaniel or Michael's translucent.
So, that has more to do with what he eats and the fact that he refuses to go outside. But
But we had dangerous stuff playing up. Do you remember going to Birds Park? Or you didn't grow up on this side of town.
I
this side
did.
of town.
I remember.
But you don't
I
remember
went
Birds.
slumming it with you all over there at Birds Park.
Do you remember the giant tower that we had to climb up and we could stand on it where there was no
Wait.
guardrails around it?
Wait, there's a giant tower.
That was dangerous. It was like 20 feet up.
Remember that thing that you spin real fast? And,
Whoa.
Like
Whoa.
you can
Guys.
fly out of it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I
The
did
yellow
that.
thing?
Yeah, I think I have brain damage from that thing.
What the?
Kids were
Well,
always flying
it's
out.
part of the brain damage.
Do you remember searing your ass on down the slide?
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yep, I remember that.
Does anyone know the park with that giant spaceship in it that you can climb up?
It's not real. Area 51's not
No,
real.
no, it's
It
not
is
Area
not
51.
real.
There's a park like in some town around here.
Some
has a
town,
giant
USA.
spaceship.
That
No
was
spaceship.
Illinois.
that was Birds Park.
No, there's actually. No, it's not Bird Park. There's a different place.
Is it Broom Park?
I don't know. That was like
Is it
something-
Space Park?
Space Mountain?
Yes.
Just making stuff up.
Exactly.
Just like you.
Exactly. No, I'm not making shit up.
So, hey, Chris, what was your first video game system?
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
First video game was Mario, Super Mario Brothers, and Duck Hunt.
Yep. Oh,
The
man.
combination two.
Yep.
First video game I ever rented was The Simpsons.
Simpson.
One where you spray paint and shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I think, or it might have been when you fought the aliens.
No, that was the arcade one. Wasn't
Was
it?
that the arcade
Yeah.
one? That's another thing these kids don't have today.
Arcade.
Arcades.
Yeah.
Arcades
Oh my
are
god,
fun.
that game was awesome.
I've been to
Oh.
one, and they're amazing.
It's like to walk around, beat 'em up.
We
Mario
had
skateboard.
Yeah.
the first video game I remember. My dad had an Atari system.
Ooh, because you're special.
Well, no, it's just my dad had an Atari, and so then we got to play that on occasion.
Did you
right?
play
We get to
Paul
play
all
with
the
it.
time?
So we got to play like
He played with himself.
Galaga and was it Space Invaders or something, or
Yeah.
Defenders or
That thing was cool at first. Came out.
Millipedes
That's
or.
weird.
Then I do remember my younger brother. My dad bought him a special game. It was Big Bird. It was a Big Bird game from Sesame Street. You'd run around this. It made the most obnoxious sound, going back, and the music was horrific. And their eggs falling from the sky. And Big Bird was running around the basket trying to collect his eggs.
Did you ever play the Dick Tracy game?
No.
Yeah.
Heard about it.
That was terrible and fun. I loved it. My grandpa watched me do it. I'm just like,
On Nintendo?
yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we drove around in that
You
car.
drove around a little car that you could pull into a building and then you'd fight people and then pull out. I never knew what I was doing. I just drove around. I was like 6.
That was
When we did end up getting a Nintendo system, and we, of course, Mario Brother, which my one cousin was ridiculously good at. I remember she was babysitting us this one time, and she was able to get those little, I don't even know what you call them. What were the turtle, like they like the turtle
shit.
shells.
Oh, the Hunger Penis, yeah.
Excuse me.
Turtle.
Okay. Anyway, she was able to get some of those on. You know how you at the end of the level you have like the stairs or whatever going up, you can jump off and get on the flag.
Yeah.
She was able to get those turtles to flip them upside down and just sit there and jump on them. If you sit there and do it long enough, you could get in the right rhythm. She gets you like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of extra lives. So you're going.
I had all the LJN video
Did
games.
she know the level 2
Those
skip,
were the
I think it
worst.
was?
They were.
From level
Do you
2
remember
to level
Predator?
8.
Yes.
Could be.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Predator. We had Predator and we had Goonies.
Back to the Future.
I did not have Back
Oh,
to
you
the
did?
Future. I did not. No. I had Predator, Goonies. I think I had Jaws.
Looney Tunes.
I didn't know. I didn't have Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes is a great show.
Jaws.
Dead
That was
silence.
Jaws.
Hey,
Cue the crickets.
Looney Tunes.
No,
or
it's
Tom and
we're
Jerry?
talking about the 80s and 90s. So if we have to talk about Looney Tunes, we have to talk about Tiny Toons.
That was a
What
great
Tiny
show.
Toons 90s?
I think there were
I thought they came in the 90s.
80s.
I don't know. I watched them. I loved them.
I thought they
That was
started
a
in
thing.
the mid 90s.
Speaking of the 90s, do you remember what television was like in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s?
No.
Walker, Texas Ranger. What?
It was a good show.
It was not a good show.
It was a good show.
Oh, what was that Don Johnson show? Nash Bridges.
Yeah.
I watched Nash
Yeah.
Bridges with my grandpa all the time. He liked that show. What was that? The first Robot Battlegate show was on in the.
I know what you're talking about.
BattleBots?
I think it was BattleBots.
May have
Oh
been.
shit.
I think it was a cooler show then than it is now.
Then we were talking about we American Gladiators.
American Gladiators, yeah. Yep, that was a good one. Oh man.
Full House started in the 87 year I was born.
Oh shit.
Full House.
That was such a good
Do
show.
you remember TGI Friday?
I do.
Like when that was, I remember that used to be cool. You like wait all week to finally get some decent television or something.
Yeah, Family Matters. Did you watch Family Matters?
man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody did.
Who didn't?
That's hilarious.
Man.
Nathaniel, because he was still spurred.
We don't care about Nathaniel though.
I wasn't even sperm.
That's right. You're nothing to us.
Exactly.
That's
I know.
right.
I'm trying to remember what other shows were on TGI Fridays.
Yeah, I remember Full House. I remember Family Matters. Those are the two big ones I remembered.
Have you seen Fuller House?
No.
I have not.
I've
And
never
I'm not
seen
sure I
Full
want
House
to.
either.
It's probably the same show.
It's pretty bad.
I heard they do. It's essentially the same show, but they're doing the same episodes over and over again. Like from the 80s. They're just redoing them with Stephanie and DJ as the adults now.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
I'm surprised they haven't remade Family Matters yet.
I don't even know what that is. So.
We need to remake it.
I'm not super surprised by that.
Remember Alf?
Okay, I remember Al.
I've watched it.
I'm trying to remember the show. Little Wonder.
Little Wonder.
Do you remember that one?
Stevie Wonder?
No, not Stevie Wonder. Little Wonder. It's about a little robot girl.
Nope.
It's a sitcom.
Oh, no wonder I don't.
Yeah, did she have red hair or something?
Yeah, she was a little robot, a little maid.
She's like a bitch.
But she was a robot.
Oh yeah, no, she wasn't really a bitch. She was kind of a smart ass.
Right.
Swamp Thing. I remember Swamp Thing on
Punky
television.
Brewster is who I was thinking of when you said the.
Little bitch.
Basically, yeah.
I try to remember shows I watched. Harry and the Hendersons. That was the 80s, wasn't it?
If not, it was early 90s. That was a good show. That cracked me up. No.
What was your first game you ever got? Anything? Do you remember?
Game console or what?
Game.
I remember
Video
I
game.
had an Atari with that spaceship game. What's it called? Galactica or something?
Galaga.
Yeah, Galaga.
Galaga. I don't know.
Whatever. Shut up.
It was awesome.
I
back
honestly
then.
have no idea.
That's an awesome game, though. Like a really cool game. We in our Nintendo system, we ended up getting I don't know what they call it, with like the active pad, like the big, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
Yeah.
iPad.
Yeah, where you like jump around on it and
Yeah.
everything.
Work
We
with
got
it.
that. My parents bought us like an Olympics game.
Yeah, I had that. I had
Was
that.
it the LA Games?
I could be. I mean, where you did all these different track and fields things on it.
Yeah, I had that game too.
When we did that, and then my mom's like, "Oh, you're knocking all the stuff off the wall. You guys can jump around." I'm like, you bought us a game to jump around in the house. And
Yeah.
What did you think was gonna happen?
There was a
Because I remember our floors were like paper when we were growing up. What were you saying?
yeah, you could like race your friend because there was two sides to it,
Oh.
with red and blue
Mhm.
side.
Wasn't there a game Mario Olympics or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever we had was an Olympics one that I know a lot of it was track and field stuff.
My first console was a PS2, so.
It's because you were born like 3 minutes ago.
Well, that's what it feels like to you.
PS2, I was jerking off before that came out.
PS2, I think I was in college when
I mean-
PS2 was out.
We had.
No, you know where we got our
I think we had a
PS2?
Game Boy before that.
K's
though.
merchandise.
I think we had a Game Boy before
store
that.
was
though,
awesome.
So.
The store was amazing.
The Game Boy Color was my first game system I owned personally.
I had a Game
Right,
Boy
as
Advance
opposed to
that I
like-
owned
This
personally.
is how much of an asshole I was. My girlfriend wanted me to tell her I loved her. And if I did, she bought me a Game Boy. I lied. My first girlfriend ever. Told her I loved her just so she'd give me a Game Boy.
You are a son of a bitch.
That does not surprise me though
No.
that you would do that.
No, I was a twat when I was like 16.
Yeah,
But-
we'll go was. Well, sure, we'll go with
Well,
that.
I was also wearing FUBU at the time,
What
so
the fuck is FUBU?
Oh,
This is another 80s, 90s thing.
no.
well,
Play that Excite
yes,
Bike.
it is definitely like a 90s
No, I
thing.
never. But it is. Yeah, it's a 90s. I guess it is.
I've played Excite Bike.
I've never played
Really?
a sci-fi.
It's fun.
You can build your own track.
I remember when Kingdom Hearts came out for PS2.
Oh dear God.
I had that game.
Yeah,
It's
RPG.
because you're a Disney.
Yeah. I'm not a Disney fan. Disney was cool when we were younger.
Oh, I remember Haunted. Was it called Haunted Mansion on the Nintendo
Luigi's
system?
Mansion?
What's that?
Luigi's
Do you remember Ghosts and Goblins?
No.
Andy, do you remember that game?
Yeah.
You played as like a knight, and you'd fight little skeletons and ghouls and
No, I never
bats.
played that.
Yeah,
No.
it was
It's
bad.
for Nintendo.
I
It's
think
pretty
I've heard
fun.
of it.
No, we never got into once we got the system, we didn't get a whole lot of games for it because our parents didn't want us playing it very often.
You know what
Which
people?
defeats the purpose of buying a system.
What game
Mhm.
that people forget about? It's part of Duck Hunt. If you bought Duck Hunt,
Uh-huh.
was where you could shoot clay
Yeah,
pigeons.
you can shoot clay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
nobody ever played that one. I love playing that
Yeah.
one.
Wait,
I also
that's an
love-
option?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah. My first set game that I really remember is the Sega Genesis though. I had all the Disney games,
Of course you did.
like Aladdin and Lion King. Lion King was an amazing game.
Really?
You don't remember Lion King?
No.
In that game.
We didn't. Again, we didn't buy a lot of games.
But not even being gay. It's what you were when you were younger.
A Disney fan?
Well, that was when Disney was cool.
True, they had all the good movies.
Wait,
So
what?
Yeah, for a while it was.
Okay.
Right about till Toy Story happened.
Hey, Toy Story was
Toy
a good
Story
movie.
was cool. What are you talking
You remember the Sega game for that?
No.
Why would I remember
No.
a movie game? Movie games generally aren't that great.
Yeah.
Disney games were pretty good.
So aside from games, what else about the 80s? Thriller, right? Thriller.
Oh,
What's up with Thriller? Why do you not like Thriller?
I don't know. I still like Michael Jackson.
I don't know. I don't like Michael Jackson. Why?
I don't
Was
know.
he sexually attracted
No.
to it?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I
You're
just don't
also
like his
turned
voice.
on when you watch him. Thriller is a great video.
Do you remember his other one that came out like in the early 2000s that was written by Stephen King? Ghosts or something like that?
What, a music video?
Yeah, it was like Thriller. It was a long one.
Are you on crack cocaine?
I am not. I remember watching it on MTV.
What are the 80s drugs? Is that
Yeah.
what's going on here? That's why
Wait.
you're...
You mean MTV
I'm doing
used to
whippets.
play music? What?
What's happening here?
I can't think of. I remember the movies that they'd air all the time on television. They don't do that anymore either.
What?
Air movies on cable.
Why would they?
Yeah,
I mean, it wouldn't make any sense.
because I remember spending entire afternoons watching Indiana Jones on USA.
Hey, Indiana Jones is great.
So, oh man, I'm gonna say it now. I'm gonna forget what the name of the movie is. There's one movie when it shows up on TV I always watch, every single time. Shawshank Redemption.
That's
Anybody
a good
else?
movie.
Anybody
That's
else?
a good movie.
I still haven't seen that.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
I haven't seen it.
that's such a good movie.
Yeah, I heard it's like one of the best movies ever.
By Stephen King.
Oh, wow. Because he's the king.
You just hate everything.
Isn't it about
Not really. I was just making
what
a
prison
joke.
did that take place in?
Shawshank.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Great.
funny.
Do you remember the show, Young Indiana Jones?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, I do.
90s late 80s, early 90s television was the best.
The only reason I remember
MacGyver. Remember MacGyver?
I
Yes.
do. I watched it.
Before they redid it.
Yeah.
What was your favorite Indiana Jones movie?
I have no idea.
Temple of Doom.
I always like Raiders.
Yeah.
What was the other show movie? Rocketeer.
I always like the
Okay,
Lego
I remember that one.
That was an amazing movie. I love that movie.
That was a good one.
I don't know what that is.
It was a Rocketeer.
It's a
Oh, yeah, I
Disney
saw that.
movie.
Yeah, with the jetpack
Yeah, yeah.
and the helmet. Yeah.
I never watched it.
That was 5 Goes West.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I remember that.
That was a good movie.
Didn't the mouse, he fought a scorpion or something, didn't he?
Yeah, because that was a sequel to what? American Tail? Is that
Oh,
what
yeah.
that was?
Yeah.
Chip and Dale.
Chip and Dale. Rescue Rangers. DuckTales. That's another
DuckTales,
good-
that was a good
that's
one.
another good cartoon.
Scooby Doo Kids? Is that what it was called?
Yeah. I
A
think
pup
so.
named Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Pup named Scooby-Doo.
I remember those.
How?
I don't know. Because they played
Because
it.
they probably still replay them somewhere.
Yeah, they played it somewhere. I don't know. I like Scooby-Doo.
We had. When did you guys get a computer?
I was probably in junior high. So it was in the 90s. Somewhere in the 90s.
Do you remember when you got a computer?
I had one of the old shitty ass ones when I was like 5 or 6.
The green screen
Yeah.
ones?
I'm pretty sure I've always had a computer. But
That's your
like,
problem.
no. See, the first computer I remember, what was the operating system before Windows 7?
Windows 7.
No,
No,
one
before
Windows
7?
Yeah.
XP.
Okay, I think we had Windows
Or
XP
Vista.
computer.
No, it was XP. No, it
We
might
had-
have been
It was
Vista.
Vista. 7 replaced Vista.
What was the operating system for Windows 7? That was the greatest line we've ever heard.
No,
on
I
this
said
podcast.
No, he didn't
Before.
say that.
Oh, I thought you said,
I said
for
before.
Windows 7.
No.
Like Windows 7?
Windows
No,
6.
it's an
Yeah,
operating system.
XP though was the big one before 7.
Do you remember when Windows 95 came out? How big of a deal that was?
No, I don't remember it coming out.
I wonder why.
Yeah, when did Windows 7 come out?
Like
When?
2010.
Yeah, it's been quite some time now.
I still remember we had a dot matrix printer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So did we for years. Okay, so this you won't get this one at all, Nathaniel, but you might remember this, Chris and Andy. The print shop products
Yes.
for your dot matrix printers.
Uh-huh.
That was actually kind of cool back
Yes,
in the
it
day.
was.
Now it's garbage.
We made our own greeting cards.
That's right, greeting cards, banners, signs, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the Game Boy printer?
Yes.
No. No.
You don't remember that?
No.
I remember going into. I went so bad. I remember going to Target and doing the demo of it all the time.
Hey, you stole it, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't smart enough back then. I was just a little fat kid. You would have caught me right away.
What's that big boxy thing in your shirt? Oh, it's nothing. It's fine.
That's the thing to keep my heart pumping.
It's my glucose meter. Oh, Game Boy printer had it was like Mario Paint. You remember that?
Sort of.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it had Game Boy had a little camera.
No, there was a Game Boy camera and then a Game Boy printer, and you could print off the pictures from the camera onto the printer.
How about that?
They were terrible.
Yeah,
Well,
the picture quality was garbage.
I'm sure.
At one point, it was the smallest camera.
That's cool.
Which wasn't saying anything. It was still as big as Polaroid.
Yeah.
It was. It was huge.
No, the camera itself.
I know, but you had to hook it up to your Game Boy,
Yeah.
which made it as big as a Polaroid camera.
Yeah.
Huh.
Made it as big as a fucking
What was your favorite
Pizza
foods
box.
from back then?
pizza and tacos.
Do you remember kids' cuisines?
Kids cuisine.
Yes.
I think so.
They had the little,
The little
brownie in them.
The frozen
Yeah.
things.
The brownie that never cooks. It was just dough.
Yes, I know what you're talking
It's
about.
delicious though.
It
I
was
don't remember
amazing. Kids' cuisines, yeah.
I've
They've
heard
probably
of it.
been banned now.
Oh, they
No,
still sell. They
I'm
still
pretty
sell.
sure this because
They
I've seen a
shouldn't
lot
sell
of
them.
commercials.
They should not sell them.
It's like Lunchables.
Yeah, but we ate a lot of stuff that they should not sell anymore.
I
Like
used to eat
the
Lunchables.
do you remember the Ghostbusters pie? Or no, Ninja Turtles pie. It was Ninja Turtles. It's those like Little Debbie fruit pies, but all the fruit was turned green for ooze.
No, I don't.
You remember that?
No, I don't.
What about Ecto Coolers?
Nope.
Oh yeah.
You see, I remember hearing about them, but I don't think we ever had them.
What?
I don't think we ever physically had them. Me, myself.
Oh, the coolers or the
Yeah.
pies? The
Well,
coolers.
the coolers. I
It's like
definitely
orange
did have
Kool-Aid,
five.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, they just did it again.
Yeah, they
All
did.
it was just orange juice or orange fruit drink.
Gushers.
Orange drink.
I
Oh.
never had Gushers.
Gushers are pretty good.
Or like.
You can't, but see, like we're in our 30s now. We can't justify going to the store and buying Gushers anymore
If
without.
I want them, I'll go to the store and buy them and eat them. You know why? Because I'm 30 and I don't have to ask
What
anybody.
are the things that you put fucking tattoos in your tongue? What those are called?
I don't know.
The ones that like it's like fucking.
I remember all the candies.
It
we
comes
had.
out of like a piece of paper and you peel it off and you put it on there and you eat it.
I don't know.
That's paper, Nathaniel. You weren't eating paper.
Damn it!
But that reminds me of tongue splashers.
Yeah.
The thing with like
The paint. Oh yeah.
Fruit roll.
fruit rolls.
Do you remember the
See the ones that
The
where you like hold it
powdered sugar paint thing
with? No.
where you dip the paintbrush in the powdered sugar and then suck on it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Or fun dip. Remember the fun dip?
Do you remember that nasty stuff that you can make the gum in your mouth?
That sounds like
Make the what?
Gum with a G.
What do you?
It's like you got like two, like I guess it's like an epoxy. it's like you get like this powder and then you get this gel and you have to squirt it both in your mouth and then like swap it around your mouth. It would make gum.
So basically, the gum companies got really cheap and really smart by selling you pieces of a product, and when you put them together, it creates the product. They didn't have to make the gum for you.
No,
That's crazy smart on their part.
we lived across from a gas station when I was little,
Oh boy,
and I was there every day. Every day I bought something.
fruit striped gum.
Yes,
Do you remember that?
Yep.
That tasted awesome, and it lasted about 3 seconds.
Band-Aids, Band-Aid gum,
I remember the Band-Aid gum.
what?
Band-Aid gum. It was gum that was shaped like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Or like candy cigarettes.
I remember those.
You mean sticks? Because that's what they are now.
Yeah.
Well, before remember
Yeah.
before it was like they actually had a wrapper you could blow on them, and the powdered sugar or whatever would fly
Yeah.
out. And
What?
Then you would take out the wrapper and it's a gum.
What?
Yeah.
People are way too liberal and so.
See, when we grew up, we didn't have any problem with anything.
It's not a plastic or a mint stick with a red
Those
paint
things
on the
are
side.
nasty.
I like those.
They're like chalk.
But
That
it's
is-
not. Yeah, but it's not like the ones we grew up
We
with.
were talking about the where you get like a receipt paper, and it had the little dots on it. You could peel off and eat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I forgot what it was. Just dots. Is that what they're called?
Dots,
Or
yeah.
button candy?
Hey, I don't know what you call
Nerds. Nerds are good.
Nerds were good.
them. Nerds.
Nerds were good. You ever had liquid nerds?
No.
That was a candy
The
too.
whole point of nerds is that they're solid.
Do you remember? At one point, there was a big tube of. It was like a gel substance, but it was the same flavors of like Tootsie Roll Pops or one of the suckers, the big suckers out there.
Yeah, I don't remember those.
Yeah, it tasted just like them, but it was like a gel instead of actually a hard sucker. Crazy.
No idea.
I grew up on so much junk food. We all did.
I just like
Yeah.
chocolates.
Yeah, we didn't do a lot of sweets growing up. We didn't do that. I remember a lot of them that were out there, and I remember asking every time you go to the grocery store and you have them at the checkout aisle, you were asking something. It's like nope.
I remember the first time I seen a glass bottle. It was in a gift shop.
It was in a museum. Hey Dad, what's this?
Dad,
Do you remember car phones?
Car
Yes.
phones?
Just what I saw in the movies. I never saw one.
We
in
had
person,
one.
Not a
You
big
mean like
one or
truckers?
No, like car phones.
Like
It was
a big,
wait.
big one.
Yeah, I see.
They got shitty reception all the time, didn't
I don't remember. I remember being little and my uncle calling my grandma from the car, and I thought that was amazing.
I remember those ginormous brick cell phones.
Oh yeah.
Kinda
Well, they
like
kind of
Game
evolved when we were older. To everybody had Nokias.
I'm talking about, I'm talking about like the big, like Motorola.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Zach Morris phone.
Oh man.
The one you had to carry a backpack for.
Oh.
Gotta play with scissors.
My parents showed them when they had me.
Did it what?
No, it's what they didn't do was the problem.
Well, that's true.
Complete the abortion.
Yeah.
Hello.
I am a living abortion.
Well, who would say if we were to stop this right now and let Hunter come in and just name off facts about the 80s, he'd be Rain Man.
He
Well,
would
you
be.
talk about like video games.
Yeah.
Well, he almost got into a fist fight with you last Sunday over
Call of
EA
Duty.
Sports and Call of Duty.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because EA Sports is just it's something.
I don't understand. It's the same game. Why does anybody care? Because it's football, right? Madden is football, so it's always going to be football.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that another day, I'm sure.
Why don't you just get off your ass and play some fucking football?
We did.
Okay.
Well,
You didn't.
Well, that's because I never liked football.
I played football.
I always did other things like fucking climb trees and shit.
Like a monkey.
Yeah.
Do you remember him when he was younger? I don't remember him.
I do.
I never met him till I was 12, so.
And for years, I thought he was Bob Penley's kid.
He is. He is.
Yep.
He was a skater boy. No, no one remembers that song?
We remember it. We don't want to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
So what do you listen to now, Nathaniel? What's your favorite music?
My favorite type?
Just what do you listen to more frequently than not?
I don't know, I listen to fucking everything. Besides, like,
Say it. Say it.
what?
Say
Shakira?
it. No, say it.
Shakira.
Shakira's great.
He likes Nickelback.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like Nickelback.
Well, who doesn't?
Everyone.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
My dad likes Nickelback.
Well, that's dad rock.
Oh, that's fine.
That's a bunch of baloney. Why? What do you listen to? Besides
Not
Screams of
Nickelback.
Horror?
Not Nickelback.
I actually haven't listened to Nickelback in like fucking 3 months. So
A whole 3 months.
yeah, it's been a long time.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah.
Tell us a funny story about Hunter right now.
Fuck.
Pop one off your head.
Shit. It's gonna take a while.
I've got 1,000 funny stories about Hunter.
Ah, shit.
What was that time? I don't know if we talked about that or not in the last one, where we were driving. We were at Jewel parking lot,
Oh.
And-
I don't know if we did.
and Hunter sees a guy walk up to another guy, and the windows are open, and he screams "drug deal"
As we drive off.
as we drive off as I'm speeding through the parking lot.
We had a lot of great stories from Jewel. Jewel, especially with Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember Mikey now. If you ever want to hear someone puke from a mile away, just meet my brother.
Who's Mikey?
Mikey? He's my bro.
I've never met Mikey.
You haven't? Well, lucky for you. 'Cause-
I met your sister.
Oh, you mean Mikey? Mikey is my sister and my brother.
Wait, what?
Yep.
I'm so confused.
You should be.
Is this real?
No.
Okay.
Tell us about that time Michael had tentacle porn on your computer.
On my computer.
Was it his computer?
It's his computer. Okay, so Butters was looking on Michael's computer for some weird reason. I have no idea. Anyways, he was typing in something, and on the top of the list of the search history was tentacle porn.
What is tentacle porn?
Yeah, explain this to us.
So if any of you know what anime is, the Japanese
No, I'm not a pervert.
animation.
Yeah, we're not.
Anyways, they like to use tentacles. Not really, just people are fucked up in the head sometimes and like to use tentacles going all throughout the woman's body. I guess, I don't know.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. I am so confused.
I barely looked into it.
I must have been alive in the 80s at some point because I don't understand this 2018 tentacle nonsense.
Well, don't worry. Hentai is not for you.
Well,
should ask
we
your
do
doctor.
have something in
I
common.
should ask my doctor.
Call your doctor and see if hentai is
We do
right
have
for
something
you.
in common though with Michael. We were not allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons, and he's obsessed with it.
Well, that's...
So how is that in common?
Dungeons and Dragons. That's just the overall theme.
Okay, yeah.
None of us were allowed to play it.
Well, you guys were. We weren't.
I wasn't. Actually, I didn't know about it until like 3 years ago.
It's the dumbest game I've ever played.
Well, in today's world, like I could see why, like in the 80s, it would have been popular, but I don't see how it's popular today.
Depends who you play with, because like the person.
Oh my God, you don't play Dungeons and Dragons.
I played it a couple times. It was fun as hell.
See?
I gotta admit.
To be fair, Michael couldn't read what he was saying anyways.
Well, that's because there's a lot of weird gibberish nonsense that only a fucking old English man can
And
read.
he didn't want to start a new game either, if you remember that.
Yeah,
he made us
just
get
wanted to
involved
continue
with
the
a
whole
new
thing.
game. He would not start a game for us. So we knew that what he was doing, so we just murdered it. Remember that?
Yeah.
We started playing Dungeon or Magic the Gathering with him.
Oh.
Did you ever play that?
No.
You ever
That's a
played
good
Magic?
game.
That's a good game.
I tried. It was too confusing. It's a lot of rules.
Not really. I remember when me and Butters used to build Legos together, which was a weird thing. Anyways, we used to fight over all the good pieces. Be like, no, that piece is mine. Yeah, don't ask.
Were you trying to build with it? Was Hunter trying to eat it?
Was that your funny
No.
Hunter story?
No,
That's
no,
not-
actually it wasn't.
Remember that time you didn't want your brother to have something?
Hey, remember that one time I beat up my brother because he's my brother? And he looked at me funny, and then he...
No, that was more of Mikey.
Oh, I got it.
That's a weird one.
I remember when Travis was hanging out with us, and Travis kept picking on Michael,
Oh shit.
and Michael asked me permission to slap Travis, and I said, go for it. Michael hauled out and whacked him, just like a woman. Bah! Right across the face.
I'm assuming he got it right back.
No, he didn't. He knew better.
Didn't it? Travis and Percy used to squish Mikey in the middle.
Yes, and
Your
he
car.
cried the entire car ride home.
It was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny.
Wasn't it Mikey that poured soda inside my...
That was him.
Was it you?
Wait.
It was
what?
you that poured car into his window, in the side of his door.
When we were coming back from up north, one of you guys poured soda inside my window of my car. I thought it was Mikey, and he was the one in the middle.
It was probably
Because
Mikey.
that's where some kind of
usually I'm
stupid
the-
line came.
And that's why I was like, man, that takes some kind of stupid.
It was Mikey. I'm pretty sure it was Mikey.
Was it Michael or Hunter that shoved their finger up my dog's butthole?
Hunter.
Was it
Except
Hunter?
he didn't actually shove it up his butthole.
Yeah, you did.
Just got real close to
No,
my
he
dog's
didn't.
butthole.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Right up in there.
I thought my dog loves Hunter now.
That's why they love each other. There's some real puppy love there.
After somebody penetrates you, you're out.
You,
It's like
you can
Stockholm
become bonded.
syndrome.
Yeah.
It's a weird form of Stockholm syndrome.
What was it? Do you remember when Hunter was playing with our dogs, and all of a sudden we kept noticing he was wrapping their collars around his thumb? He was tightening it like a
Like he's
noose.
gonna choke him to death?
Yeah.
He's typing it like a... Oh, shoot. Oh, no.
A
Your
noose?
garrote.
No. Hold on.
Hold on.
It's taking me a while.
Hang on, let's please stick with us for a second of dead air so he can try to think.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I was just gonna let you idiots talk.
What? Nothing?
It's like a tourniquet.
It's called the garrote.
What? Are you sure?
Yeah.
A tourniquet?
Not a
Nope.
tourniquet.
No.
You're talking about two different things.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
A tourniquet's what you tie your arm off with.
Yeah, and
A
he
garage
was tightening the collar like a tourniquet, wasn't he?
No.
No.
Oh man, this kid's simple.
Yep.
A garrote you would use around someone's throat to
Like a collar.
slice it.
Like a collar.
Okay.
AD, you've not said much. What you got to say tonight?
Uh,
I think we was just thinking about how that was some kind of stupid when
Oh,
talking about it.
Paul on display.
Are you saying Eminem?
No. He looks like Eminem.
How do you feel about that? That he just said that about
well,
it.
I like Eminem.
What does Butters look like?
I think Eminem's a clone now.
My dad. Butters looks exactly like my dad.
It's true.
What would you say
From a
about your
distance, you can't tell them
poor
apart.
Who?
Butters and his father.
Besides the fact that Butters weighs probably 100 pounds more.
No.
I doubt it. They probably weigh close to the same because your dad's
Yeah.
smaller.
Just a little bit. He'll do the movie with us, but warning, guys. He's worked 8 hours.
He might be
He
So
doesn't
tired.
know if he's funny or
Yeah.
not tonight.
Sorry, friends. You just need to know this in advance.